Good afternoon and welcome in to the Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies Awesome Healthier Bee Summit. The conversation at hand today is about essential oils. Most of us have heard about it, tried it, loved it, gotten confused about its usage and benefits because there's so much information out there, sometimes contradictory, and then stopped using it because of that. I fell in that last category for sure. So is today's call only about giving instructions on how to use essential oils? Is it only about, hey, use peppermint for a burst of energy when feeling tired? No. It is about how essential oils are a beautiful, gentle way for us to focus on our health. It is about getting to know about a natural way for ourselves and our loved ones to live a wellness-empowered lifestyle. The international experts who we have here with us today, who will be taking us through this today, join us from Australia and New Zealand, respectively. Mark Shepherd has been involved in the natural health field for 30 years, specializing in product development, teaching, and training in how to achieve the best results using pure natural products, including essential oils. Following a major emotional crisis in 2005, he experienced a life-turning healing from a practitioner using essential oils to help him heal from major emotional pain. Since then, he's been teaching the benefits of essential oils all over the world and now operates a thriving essential oil global business. Rebeccah Steele is a practitioner qualified in nutrition, Bowen therapy, and quantum biofeedback. She has been majorly involved in using essential oils with her various modalities since 2005 and has numerous clients in many countries. Her vast experience in using essential oils on herself, family, and clients has allowed her to build up a huge knowledge base on the oils, and she is passionate in wanting to demonstrate the natural, safe, and effective ways in which essential oils can profoundly benefit everyone. What with getting to know about dōTERRA, the essential oil company Mark and Rebeccah are a part of, getting to know about emotional, mental, and physical digestion with essential oils. Oh yes, that's the thing. Emotional, mental, physical digestion with essential oils. And receiving energetic transmissions on the same. Yes, that's a thing too. There's an action-packed call ahead for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, please put your hands together for and join me in giving a warm Mystic Lotus welcome to Mark Shepherd and Rebeccah Steele. Hi, Mark. Hi, Rebeccah. Welcome in.
Thank you so much, Neelu. I always get a bit embarrassed when I get introduced like that because I think I've got to be really good because you've talked me up so big.
Well, I hardly did. I barely mentioned anything about either you or Rebeccah, just a few lines of introduction, because we want to hear everything possible from the two of you directly, and of course, especially about essential oils and dōTERRA. And we're here talking about health and essential oils and digestion, which has me super curious. But there are a few things that I quickly want to shoot out in your directions, both your directions, and get that taken care of so that we can go into that bit of the conversation. So
Okay,
the
right.
very obvious question to begin with, Mark, is what are essential oils?
Well, that's a very good question because it is confusing, and I really appreciated your introduction, Neelu, when you're saying that there is a lot of confusion out there. So there's an essential oil. It's a tiny little bottle, and it has a liquid in it. And in very simple terms, an essential oil is the lifeblood of a plant. It's what keeps the plant alive. And essential oils are obtained from all different types and parts of plant. A fun fact might be that if you look at a particular tree in Paraguay, for instance, it actually produces 3 separate essential oils, one from the bark, one from the twigs, and one from the fruit that grows on. So it's a very diverse topic. It is huge in its applications, and simply put, the lifeblood of a plant. And the most interesting thing is that despite all the modern technology going around, we still obtain essential oils the same method that our forebears did 5,000, 6,000 years ago. We simply steam distill them. We actually heat the plant material, converts to steam, which leaches all the lifeblood, the liquid out of the plant material. It goes into a vat of water, it condenses into oil, oil floats on water. Voila, we have essential oil. Same method. We might use bigger containers, we might use better technology, but it's the same method. The last thing to say what essential oils are about, that's what they are, they're a liquid. It is their chemistry. It is the fact that they are what we call volatile aromatic compounds, and they have a very complex and integrated chemistry of naturally occurring chemical compounds that impact profoundly on our health, both physically, mentally, and spiritually. And they've been used in cultures all over the world forever. Whatever country you come from, the local Indigenous people in Australia used tea tree and eucalyptus for wound healing, for fungal infections, for any sort of viral infection. And of course, in their mystical and in their corroborees and in their religious ceremonies, they steam the leaves to get the aromatic aroma from there to help in their transcendentations of their particular people that they believed in. You'll find that all over the world. So that's the exciting thing about essential oils. They're diverse, they have amazing impact. And the last thing, because we need to get on with a lot of things, is that so much of modern, as I say, probably medicine, over-the-counter products and so forth, have their origin in essential oils.
Interesting.
Okay, and that thing, just to quickly add of that, aspirin was developed from the essential oils that the Native American people used to get from the bark of the birch and the willow tree. They'd scrape off the bark, they would steam it and cook it over a fire, and from the liquid there, they would drink it for pain, anything to do with headaches, anything to do with wound healing, fevers or anything like that. What were they doing? They were actually taking the early version of aspirin.
Right, which is
the
a bark flower, right? Aspirin?
Correct.
Right.
Aspirin, the drug, aspirin.
Aspirin. All right. I heard aspen. So I
sorry. I have to make sure I speak clearly. Aspirin.
Right.
So I hope that gives you an idea. That's what an essential oil are. That's what essential oils. Lifeblood of the plant, the very essence that keeps the plant alive, that protects it, that makes it grow. Aromatic compounds, lots of health-giving chemicals, naturally occurring chemicals that work on our physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. I hope that summarizes it.
Fantastic. And like you said, a lot of benefits, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. However, you also just gave some very lovely examples, the origin of aspirin itself as well. But how essential, how important is it for us to be using this on a daily basis right now, today?
Well, one of the things I think that's really interesting whenever I do a presentation is that a lot of people, when I stand up and talk, say, hey, it's a man talking about essential oils. And generally I'm in the minority, it's not uncommon for me to be in 5% male, the rest are female, because there's this version and it's a bit airy-fairy, it's a bit this and that. But as you said, Neelu, I had that amazing change in my life in 2005. And it was due to a healer with essential oil. So I became a very, very strong believer. In the particular world that we live in now, essential oils are natural. If you get them from the right source, which we'll discuss later about dōTERRA, where they use a particular co-impact sourcing method that takes care of the environment, the growers, the farmers, the whole chain. We are using a product that is plant-based, that is sustainable, that is renewable, that each year the crop grows, the farmer is in their livelihood, we are sustaining the earth, and we are using natural products that have absolutely profound effect on our bodies, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. No side effects. Okay, there are some precautions we'll go through, but no side effects. And daily usage of those is so simple and so effective at a time now when we are challenged than never before, I believe, with cultural breakdowns and cultural changes. We've just experienced the so-called pandemic. We have uncertainty, I think, in my lifetime, more uncertainty now than I've experienced in my life. Now is the time to be using these products because of their effectiveness on our nervous system, on balancing our hormones, on bringing, peace to our souls, to be able to think clearly, to actually soothe our minds. What better thing to do than simply, and it's so easy, you take the lid off and you inhale it. And you've got to do that in the morning and every night. And you do that for a few weeks and the results are profound. So simple, so effective.
Right.
That's why you should be using them.
Right. And I will come back to that in a bit, Mark, because you just opened the bottle and took a whiff of it. And I remember reading that you're not supposed to smell it directly. And there's a lot of,
Correct.
Is this the right way or not? And I will come back to that.
Sure.
I quickly want to bring Rebeccah in and ask Rebeccah, what's your take on why essential oils should be used, and is it used only for health reasons?
Well, thank you, Nilu and Mystic Lotus and Dragonflies for this event. I feel really honored and privileged to be here. And in general, I've found that from my experience and knowledge of health and well-being, and with my clients also using essential oils, basically where I'm looking to bring balance. We're always looking to bring balance. If we're off kilter or if we feel out of balance, it's used to bring balance. And so they strengthen basically and they help the physical body, and they strengthen the physical body. They prepare us in a gentle way with our, emotional difficulties. As I've in the last 3-4 years, the emotional difficulties have escalated around the world with clients that I've seen. There's so much chaos, and the essential oils have been magical for that purpose. And they also help us increase our spiritual awareness and connection, which to me, I think is where, we're all being drawn to that's my perspective and what I've experienced. And so I feel that generally essential oils clarify that life purpose, whether it's that purpose for a daily activity, because we are guided to live in the moment and in the day that we're given. So they give us that clarity. And, if we have a goal, like we have been preparing for this summit, we prepare with clarity. That's what I've been doing. That's what Mark has been doing. And I believe that's what we've been doing too, right. To be the best version of ourselves. And coming to our essential oils only for health, not really. I mean, I use them around my house and many people do, for cleaning, keeping, odors and mold and bacteria out of places like kitchens and bathrooms. And generally also, it's been used to create spa-like environments in your home, you know, and if one has a business with a spa, then it increases that atmosphere. It is such a welcoming aroma that invites people in. I believe also that real estate agents use that in the houses that they're selling, for example, to invite people in to bring that house into a state of prosperity, abundance. Yeah.
Nice, interesting. And we will get to know people, for example, prosperity and abundance. We're going to get to know lots more. The entire team has been learning so much from Mark and Rebeccah these last few weeks. And we're super excited that you're going to get to experience a lot of that as well. And again, one or two more questions I just want to bring up. And people, if you have any queries, do post them on the group. We'll pick it up from there. I do want to say, I want to add here that, and this is something all of you will also experience, which is the healing aspect, the healing properties of essential oils, not just in its physical use, but its energetic transmission. I had some time with Rebeccah when I was going through the last week, 7 odd days has been down with fever. The reason I'm like bright-eyed and bushy-tailed here on this call is because of this experience I've had with the essential oils, like actual physical experience. I have my oils already, and the energetic experience of it with a session with Rebeccah, which you will also get to experience. So keep that in mind, everybody. And coming back, Mark, when I had said that I want to bring this up very quickly, because you opened the bottle and you went, that's all you need to do, which is amazing. I love it. I love the ease of being able to do that. But there must be certain ways to use oils and certain ways to not use these oils, Mark, because like I said, I've read this, don't sniff it directly, don't apply it directly, but I've seen you do it. And because of you, I've been doing it. So.
Well, the main reason that that question comes up is that over the years, if we go back in time, essential oils were just essential oils. They were just steam distilled and they were natural. In the late 1800s, as science developed and as technology changed and people were able to start using microscopes and look into products and extract things, and as chemistry changed, I mean, world wars always promote technology as people look for horrible things to do, and they start delving and they start finding things. In simple terms, what it meant is essential oils went through a long period of adulteration.
Okay.
There are so many compounds in essential oils that are used externally in other industries. If you were to look at probably 90% of personal care products, you will find an ingredient in there called linalool. Linalool.
Okay.
Linalool, there is no such thing as a linalool plant, and it doesn't exist by itself in the world. It is one of the major components of lavender essential oil.
Okay.
So you see it from a grower's perspective, and I don't want to dwell too long on this. A grower has a field of lavender. He harvests it. He distills it. He can sell some in pure to perhaps a practitioner, to some health industry. But then to other areas, he can extract the linalool, and it does not affect the aroma, because the aroma is result from another chemical called laurylic acid.
All right.
And so he can then sell the oil without the linalool, and he can sell the linalool separately. And then if he really wants to get really sexy about it, he can actually take out some laurolic acid. So this lavender that gets sold doesn't have such a strong aroma, and the laurolic acid can be sold to a high-end perfumer. So we can make multiple incomes and streams from the various components of the lavender.
Right.
Now, the problem is that when you extract those, they're extracted using solvents.
Ah, okay.
So I do not want anybody to have an essential oil and smell one that's been adulterated where you're smelling solvents.
Right.
So that's why people say in general, don't do that. However, when you know the sourcing, when you know that these are 100% pure, they've gone through a battery of tests, they don't go through any of that, they are used exclusively for health and well-being, then essential oils can be inhaled directly from the bottle, and it's one of the safest and most effective ways to use it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Which obviously is a direct testament to the fact that the doTERRA essential oils are pure. So
Correct.
therefore, the next question here would be, Mark, who is doTERRA? What do they do? And what's the impact they have in the essential oil industry, so to speak?
Well, they've had a huge impact, and it's been an interesting journey of actually becoming involved with it, where, as you said, I had a turning point in my life in 2005, and it led me to work at an essential oil company as a corporate executive, as Nilu said, doing training, teaching. I ran all of Australia and Southeast Asia for a period of time, building an essential, working for a worldwide company. I had the opportunity to leave that and actually work for myself in 2009. And shortly thereafter, because it's a small industry, I knew a couple of gentlemen and a lady who were in the United States who had a vision, had a dream. They came from, again, the health industry with some knowledge in essential oil. And their dream was that they believed that the world needed to know the truth about essential oils. They needed to know what their potential was, their purity, and so forth. And that dream, there were at that stage 4 of them. One was a medical doctor who was heavily involved in the natural field. He practiced in that field, not in medicine. And together they started a search, and they invested their own money very heavily. They mortgaged their homes, and they went on a search worldwide to find the truth about the sourcing of essential oils. And they started with about 15, and they found them, and they went to the growers, and they saw another side of the essential oil business, which was the growers. And it's interesting fact that, and it's careful using words here, because I've seen about 60% of essential oils come from what we would call in the West developing countries. So poor countries. Okay, 60 to 70, poor economically. Mightn't be poor spiritually or the way their lifestyle is, but poor economically. You know, their GDP is low. So about 60%, and they were exploited. There's middlemen. A lot of essential oils are used in high-end perfumes. It's no different than the sweatshops when you buy a pair of high-end running shoes where they actually cost $5 and you pay $240 for them. And so they wanted to set up 2 things. They wanted the purest essential oils to tell the truth about those so that they could heal people, but they also wanted to do, when they saw the appalling conditions that so many farmers worked on, they wanted to do something about that. So they did 2 things. They formed what they call a co-impact sourcing model, where they got local people, they formed cooperatives, cut out the middlemen, all the factories and everything like that. They installed the distiller themselves at their own cost for the growers. And when the growers harvest their crop, bring it to the distillation, they weigh the crop, they pay them straight away. They set up this model all over the world. So we, doTERRA, now source essential oils from locations everywhere: Europe, North America, South America, Asia. A lot comes from India, okay? We make the best cinnamon and the best lemongrass in the world, and it comes from, they're 2 of the oils that are used. Certainly up north part of India, we have spikenard and wintergreen. They are, because they are, when tested, they have the highest efficacy level of those aromatic compounds anywhere in the world. Right. So that's how it grew. It grew out of the desire to tell the truth and story and show that pure essential oils can be viable. They really have a positive impact, a massive impact, and to provide a chain where growers were looked after. And as I talked about, sustainability. So it's co-impact. It's co-impact on the environment. Right. So we're talking about sustainability. That's their goal. That's what they did. And the world embraced it because in a period, it's now been going since 2009. We're talking 14 years. dōTERRA is the largest privately owned essential oil company in the world by a very, very long way. And we'll get even bigger because it's now you can buy it in India, which we're delighted about.
Right. And even in India, as you said, because everything is sourced locally, it's a pure form of extraction. There's no
Correct.
middleman. Even in India, you have setups in all the regions, right? Like, for example, the beautiful eucalyptus is from the south, right? So
lemongrass.
And lemongrass from the south. So they're actually locally sourced, and as you mentioned, co-impact sourcing model. The local farmers, are the ones who are benefiting from this. There's no middleman. This is pure, this is direct from source. I think these are amazing plus points to get to know about and to understand. So a big thank you to dōTERRA for that.
I think just one very quickly, because we know we've got a lot to get through, but I think what that shows to me and what it does to me is that when we're talking about essential oils working on an emotional and a spiritual level, energetically, it has to be not only pure ingredients, but it has to be pure in the way it's obtained. You can't be exploiting people. That energetically through the live molecules, you're going to adulterate the product just as badly as if you use solvents. And that's what we love about dōTERRA. We know from where it starts to where it finishes, that chain has the purest intentions and everybody benefits the whole way up. And it's a magic thing.
Amazing. And of course, dōTERRA also means, if you translate, a gift of the earth. Gift of the earth. Right. Fantastic. I think everyone's having a good time just listening to what you're saying. I'm not seeing any questions in so far. Priyanka has asked something about asthma and allergies in kids, and I will come to your question, Priyanka. Hang in there, because Mark, like you just mentioned, because there is a purity of intention in the work behind this.
Correct.
Your product cannot be pure if the intention is not pure, and that's where a gift of the earth, so to speak, comes in. And this is where I think is a good time for me to also ask, and Rebeccah, I'm going to ask you this, is because we're talking about emotional, physical, mental digestion. And like I said, super curious, because it's not an antacid to have after food. So what's the connection here between the mental, physical, emotional digestion and essential oils and what we are here to experience and understand today?
Well, thank you for that question. And it's a very important question, because as Mark was sharing earlier, when you smell the bottle of essential oil and you first get its aroma, whether you're smelling it or you're diffusing it, what it's going to do is go through all of your 5 senses. You know, the nose, the sense of smell goes along the olfactory nerve, which leads to the limbic part of your brain. With the limbic part of your brain, more specifically, is where the amygdala is located, and that is where the emotional well-being sits, or emotional distress. So I can say to you, for example, this oil is so wonderful for this experience. You go to smell it and you say, oh my God, no, thank you. It doesn't work for me. And then I become curious and I ask, when you smell the oil, what memory did it take you back to? And, you know, there's always in our memory bank a sense of an aroma that reminds us of an experience that we might have had when we were a child, when we were a teenager, when we were a young adult. And if it made us stop in our tracks and go into that freeze or fight or flight response, that emotion doesn't get digested. It sits there like a lump of clay. And but the body says, we need to move on, right? We need to grow and have more experiences. And so these things can get locked in layers. And I am of the perspective that from my experience and what I've seen in clients, that this sense of dysfunction begins from the spiritual level. And so the spiritual level is smell this. And, the oil I'm opening, the bottle, by the way, is bergamot. And I invite you to smell it. And so that is the first spiritual guidance. Then there is the mental digestion of it. It's like the oil, the aroma hits a mental block. And that's when I don't like it. It causes this for me. It causes that for me. Then if it is allowed to go even deeper, even a day later, the emotion comes up, the block that was there. And then if it's not addressed, as we know, when blocks stay there for a long time, they become a physical problem, a physical pain. Yeah.
Right. And in fact, I remember Nidhu mentioning this, I think one of the first few times all of us had spoken about this very physical reaction that she'd had, I think, to the usage of lavender, if I recall correctly. And I remember how Mark explained it and said that, it's a pathway opening up, and that's what's happening. And which is why a conversation that is happening today, Rebeccah, with you and with Mark, as being part of dōTERRA, is that much more important to understand that, like Mark said, it's the life force of a plant, the essential oil. It's the lifeblood of a plant. You're saying that it touches the senses, it opens, there's this mental, physical, emotional, spiritual. And that's where all of this opening up is happening. And that's why it's so important to have an expert guide you through it, hold your hand through it and explain this. Because, like I said right at the beginning, everybody knows, okay, peppermint is, it up, you can wake up your senses, but it's so much more than just that much, right? It's not just about, oh, okay, I'm awake, correct?
Yes.
So, right. And Mark, were you saying something?
No, I was just laughing at that. Yeah, it's much more than that. I'm awake. You're
Yeah,
right.
okay. Right. So,
yeah.
Yes. And I want all of us to be able to experience this digestion, so to speak. And I know that, Rebeccah, you have already done some work for all of us with that, and I will come to that in very quickly. I'm just checking in for the questions. Yes, so Priyanka had written in about how can essential oil be helpful in asthma and allergies in children, right. So that's one question that Priyanka had written in. So I'd like to ask you, Rebeccah, if you'd like to respond to Priyanka right now, or should we go through the experience of the digestion, so to speak, and then you can actually have a solution available for Priyanka as well.
That might be a way to do it, because then there is more understanding around the answer that I would share.
Right. And M has also asked about wanting to know certain essential oils for self-love and forgiveness. And Ranjani has also asked, can essential oils help with nerve-related pain such as sciatica? To Priyanka M, Ranjani, very good questions. Thank you so much for it. Can we just hang on a few minutes? Because like Rebeccah just explained, there's a certain understanding that will come with the experience of it. So let's just go through that, and all your questions will be addressed and you will get an answer for it for sure. Are we good for that? So that also means you have to stay on the call. All right. Okay. So Rebeccah, there's this thing that you've done, right? About this, to explain, to show, to make us understand about this digestion process, so to speak. And of course, we're not talking about, okay, here's your colon and here's your intestine, and if this is what you eat and this is the route it travels. It's a very different thing. So Rebeccah, the floor is yours. Explain to us what you did, what you set up, what you found out, and then we'll also screen share it for everybody.
Okay, so I at one stage felt like I wanted to pick some cards. I've got some essential oil card collection that I use, and I felt that for the group today, I would like to present, 3 cards that I pulled the day before, so yesterday, for this particular exercise. And the way I did it was I go into a circle with an intention, and the intention is I align myself with the spiritual intention of aligning to the group and receiving what the group needs to know for this particular session and this call today. And the first oil that came up, the first card that came up, and if you'd like to show that,
yes,
is coriander.
Right. And I'll just take a moment to do that. You go ahead, keep talking, Rebeccah. I'm just going to bring this up very quickly.
Okay. So coriander is about stepping outside of your box. We've all been in this space around the world for the last 2 years. Around the world, we have all, as human beings, experienced such chaos. And I was pleasantly, mystically surprised and welcomed this card, because coriander is about the moving out of the state of fight, flight, freeze, response, the space of stagnation, if you like, into fresh air. Let me open the windows. Let me open the front door. Let me go out and see what else is possible. So that was what came up from this card, for this card. It is an oil that inspires you to become more one with yourself, so with integrity. And that is such an important concept, because we have, as has been shared so far, that we all have, connections to family, friends, colleagues at work, and all of that has changed. If not massively, certainly it's changed for people around the world. And it's now bringing you back into yourself and having integrity. And one of the ways we can use this oil is, it is an oil that is is food grade. So it is one that can be used as well to apply topically. It can be put in some water. That's what I would do, and drink it. It is actually one oil that is used for the cardiovascular system and also for the nervous system. So if we think of what's been going on around the world, it has affected our nerves to feel that sense of tightness in our neck and shoulders. And, it might cause our heart to race, the chaos around the world, and feel out of balance. So it is one oil that has been used for those situations. So then,
Rebeccah, I'm just coming in very quickly to give everybody a quick reminder that once you tell us about the 3 amazing essential oils that have shown up for us, you're actually going to be taking us through an energetic transmission. We will receive the energy of the same as well. Just wanted to give everybody a reminder. Or is that happening already, Rebeccah?
Well, this is actually what you just brought that in, which is possibly a good thing to do now. So, what I'd like to do is ask us all to place one hand on your heart and one hand below your navel, and, to receive the transmission of this coriander, because this is such a deep connection back into ourselves, pulling our energies back into ourselves, guiding us into what our heart is actually wanting to tell us, in that quiet space. You're receiving right now coriander, the oil of integrity, into your senses, into your nervous system. Allow your heart to receive this oil with appreciation, with gratitude, and with a uniqueness that is only available to you. Each one of us is unique, and coriander has a special message. Listen to what your heart is telling you, and feel free to write it down if it's a word, to remind you of what coriander is doing, asking you to receive. Take a deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. Another deep breath in and exhale. One more breath in, giving us the courage to step out of the box and be who we really are meant to be. Thank you. So now we will move on to the next oil that I pulled out, which is a beautiful oil called bergamot. And it's one that I thought was also just so perfect. It's the oil of self-acceptance. And how many times, if I can ask you all to think of the number of times you've done so much work for other people, and you are finding that you cannot have time for yourself. There's no time left to take care of your own needs because you're being the best for everyone else. This is an oil that after all the hard work, you come back home with all the day's work done and you receive no gratitude, no appreciation, no acknowledgement that you've been out or doing whatever you have been doing for others, and you haven't been able to bring that energy back home and radiate that out at home. So it's an oil of self-acceptance. And this is an oil that I would say it's one, again, let's go to the chakras here. The chakra, I would say this is really good for. There are two actually that come to mind. Actually, all of them come to mind. But the one is first, your solar plexus, your own power. So again, we'll get the transmission for this oil. With one hand on your heart and one hand on your solar plexus, which is just above your navel. So bergamot here is here to greet you, to relieve the sense of despair and the sense of low self-esteem, where all of your energy has gone out. This aroma is so uplifting, so gentle in its uplifting manner. It's wonderful for any of us, any time of the day that we are feeling down or feeling that sense of hopelessness, just because we are so tired. And it awakens our own spirit, and it offers courage to go within, go into yourself and find out more about yourself. Leave the outer world behind for this moment and receive this helping hand and aroma from bergamot. Breathing in, feeling the sense of uplifting sensation traveling along your nervous system, supporting your skin. You feel so much happier in your skin. You're such a wonderful person. We are all such wonderful people. So with this movement of energy that is going through our body, our nervous system is connecting to our digestive system, helping us emotionally digest. The gifts that we are here to bring. Inhale and exhale. Thank you, Bergamot. So then the last one of the three that I picked was, this is such a beautiful oil. I mean, they're all beautiful, but this one in particular is one oil in my experience and in the experience with clients that I've had. It's one that they reach out to and they want to sit in this bottle because it lifts you out of the deepest, darkest situation. And, you know, it says that opportunities, it's about opportunities and abundance. And I want to share that the Deva, Ganesha, is the one that represents this abundance by being the remover of obstacles. Removing these obstacles, it's like the clouds parting. You can actually, it's like see the fog lifts, you can actually see the brightness of opportunities. Challenges fall away because emotionally you are well balanced. So here, what I'd like you to do is place one hand on your root chakra and one hand on your heart to receive the abundance of wild orange, fostering creativity and supporting a positive mood, which is where we want to go. And it reconnects us back to our inner person, inner child, inner being. So this is all about inner work. And again, this is about the nervous system being, you know, gifted with clarity. Your mind just takes second place now to your heart as you feel inspired with a solution to a problem or an issue. Moving out of scarcity, moving into abundance. Feel this beautiful citrus oil, such an uplifting oil. Inhale and exhale to bring this joy and playfulness back into your life. So those are the three cards I pulled out beforehand.
And amazing and so beautiful and so gorgeous in the sense that, of course, the cards by themselves so amazing to look at, and then to receive this transmission as well energetically, be it with the coriander, which is the oil of integrity, bergamot, which is the oil of self-acceptance, and wild orange, the oil of abundance. And the chakras that have come in as well into play. With wild orange, it's the root. With bergamot, it was solar plexus, and with coriander, it was
Heart.
It was the heart, right? And this now suddenly essential oils has taken on a different meaning altogether in life. It's not just about, oh, it smells good. because it's not just a fragrance, right? There's a difference between an essential oil, something being an essential oil and something being just fragrant, so to speak. I thought it was absolutely beautiful. And in fact, Nishi has written in, thank you so much for this beautiful experience, feeling more uplifted and refreshed. Beverly even wrote in saying, it's funny what Rebeccah is saying about bergamot. I drink Earl Grey tea. It has bergamot in it. I guess instinctively, I also ended up choosing that. And Mark and Rebeccah, I just looking at people writing in and sharing my own experience as well, in just a few minutes, how, as Nishi has also written in, feeling more uplifted and refreshed. In just a few minutes, how even the energetic transmission of something has brought this liveliness, has brought a smile to the face. And that cannot come just like that. It would have come from something moving, shifting inside as well, which is the beauty of these essential oils, right? And in fact, I also remember the first time saying that my favorite of all was wild orange, and Mark immediately said, put it in your hand and rub it and make a wish for abundance. So I just did that right now, and this is my wish for abundance for everybody. It's on my hands, and I don't know if you can smell it, but it is gorgeous. And I tell you, people, we're going to be telling you about all the oils that are available and how you can order them soon. You've got to order these. And I am so typically middle class about the wild orange. I use it once in 3 days because that's how strong it is. That's how beautiful it is. I can smell it for 72 hours. All right. And I'm just heading into the group to check for questions. Rupali is written, feeling fresh. Aarti says, thank you for the refreshing experience. Priyanka says, thank you. And yes, people, we're going to take on your specific questions right now. Before we do that, Mark, Rebeccah, is there anything that we need to cover for everybody's information? Because people have written in with queries and specific concerns.
Okay, well, just very quickly from my point of view,
yes.
That was awesome. And that gives the idea of what you can do when you combine the oils with words, intention, the whole frequency and so forth. And I think the whole world needs to move more towards that. And essential oil is a great vehicle for it. And later in the program, Rebeccah will talk more about a frequency medicine, which is, and some lucky person's going to get to experience that.
Yes.
And tomorrow, I believe we're going to do, the full chakra balance with the oil, which I tell you, if you tell your friends to be there, it'll blow their socks off. If you think that was good, you wait till you do the specific one with all the meditations. It's going to be amazing. But I just do very quickly, when we're talking about, I think one thing we need to just quickly cover is in the using of the essential oils. Now, we've talked about me taking the lid off. We've sort of I just very quickly, I don't think I'll take 30 seconds to do this, is that there are generally regarded as 3 ways to use essential oils, just 3 ways. And the first way is aromatically, which is inhalation, okay, straight from the bottle, or as Rebeccah mentioned before, diffusing. So diffusing is a device that actually you put essential oil in, and there's some agitation where it comes out in a mist and you breathe the molecules of the essential oil. And that can help both physically and emotionally, because when we're talking about certain oils which are antibacterial, antiviral, just them floating around in the air can help kill bugs and pathogens and so forth. So aromatically is incredibly powerful. Rebeccah mentioned its way going up to the amygdala through the brain. Science says that about 5% of what we smell actually gets into our bloodstream because of the small size of the molecules. Only 5%, that's plenty. So it can have a profound effect just inhaling. Just getting into that. The other is topical application. Topical application. There are some issues there. What we always recommend is that sensitivities vary among people. So it's always good that in the initial stages to test it, Perhaps use a carrier. Carrier can be anything. It can be olive oil, it can be any sort of cooking oil. The best one we use is something like fractionated coconut oil because it's got long life that Rebeccah's showing. It's had all the fat taken out of it, so it's thin. It doesn't go rancid. So use that. If in doubt and you have no carrier, the simplest, safest, most effective place to put essential oil is on the soles of the feet. Okay? Because there was a couple of reasons. One, the feet are usually tougher and harder, so you're less likely to get any reactions, but there's numerous vascular endings in our feet. So oils absorb quickly into the vascular system, so they're going around through the body. Okay? And don't be afraid to dilute, because the latest evidence suggests that dilution is far more effective than neat application, simply because essential oils absorb rapidly. They're gone. They're not like your fatty oils, like your jojobas or argans or so forth like that, where they big molecules sit on the skin. Essential oils, small molecules straight in. You want them to linger. So dilute them with a carrier that's got a bigger molecule. Let them linger. Let them go slow. Let's slow down. Just like Rebeccah was doing there. Let's slow down and so forth. That's the best way to use essential oil. Now, they're the two ways, and they're the two ways that I've always taught. You can, and Rebeccah mentioned a drop of coriander in drinking it.
Right.
You move into a field of ingestion. I'll be very quick here. Yes, a number of essential oils can be ingested because these are 100% pure. Many of them are used as food additives. So your citrus oils, they're just essential oil out of the rind of the fruit. So you're eating fruit, just the rind. Peppermint obviously is used as a flavour and so forth like that. The secret there is for me, is care and attention. And we will talk later about some precautions not to take them. But if you're starting out new, topical application, aromatic is incredibly powerful, incredibly effective. And we can learn about ingestion later on as we go down the track. How's that sound? All right?
Perfect. And just a very quick question on that. Is it safe for pregnant women and children to use?
Okay. My response to pregnant is that, yes, you can go and look at lots of books and lots of texts, and I can sit here and tell you these oils are, these oils aren't. I figure for me, if you're pregnant, you're not going to be pregnant forever. Just don't use them. Don't take the risk. If you're confident, if you want to do your own research, hey, go and do that. But why bother? Just don't. Children, yes, they're fine for children. You dilute them. So generally, we would say for an adult, generally, one part essential oil, 3 parts carrier. So the very young children, 1 part essential oil, 12 parts. Older children, 1 part, 6 parts. You just think about they're littler. So you just dilute it more. And for children, stick it on the soles of your feet. Stick it on the soles of your feet.
Perfect. And of
We're going
course,
to start somewhere, and there's plenty of education out there and you'll learn, but we are big onto safety. We're big on safety.
right. And of course, when you buy from dōTERRA, you have guidance available.
The guidance.
Constantly.
You've got us, you've got lots of information, you've got access to people online who can talk you through. You've got an untold amount of literature and education and so forth like that. So strongly support the product. Really want to ensure that people have the best experience they can get.
Fantastic.
That's what I wanted to mention, just to clear that little area about using them up, and we're good to go.
And thank you for that. I think, miss it in the beginning as to how.
No, we glossed over. We did, but we just didn't, I'm a bit, I might be a bit pedantic about that because I'm really careful with it. So go.
Right. And there were a few questions that came in very specifically. So Rebeccah, Priyanka asked, how can essential oils be helpful in asthma and allergies in kids?
Right. So this is a good question now to answer, given that we were talking about the various digestions. So when you look at what is happening with an allergy and what is happening with asthma, we want to look at what is causing this, the child to, the lungs to seize and to close up. What is causing that backup of mucus in the alveoli of the bronchi in the lungs. What is causing that? And there can be allergies to pollen, to food, to multiple things. But there is a space, especially for children, that is a mental and emotional allergy. And depending on how old the child is, also, if they don't feel, depending on their personality as well, how well they express themselves and how, so it's actually a very deep situation. And if possible, I would like to encourage Priyanka to probably get on a private booking with me, to, if that is of interest, to find out exactly what is happening with the child.
Right, because as you just explained, there's a lot of details that need to be assessed before you can bring up a specific essential oil. And I will add to that, like I mentioned in the beginning, I had been done with fever, and the insights that Rebeccah like just threw in my direction, I was like, okay, I've never really thought of it this way. And I also want to, and one of you will get to experience this. I'll tell you this, what showed up for me was a blockage in mental digestion. All right. And I was like, here I'm thinking that the body is this thing and the body is fine. It's the mental digestion that needs to be paid attention to. So, and there's a lot of work that Rebeccah puts in, and you will get a quick experience of that very soon. One of you lucky people will get that very soon. And M is asked, can you let us know?
Can I jump in there for a second? Could I jump in for a second?
Yes, Mark.
Rebeccah will do the detail, and she'll go down that there. But I think it'd be worthwhile just to offer the people who are listening some simple solutions that they can use, because it takes time to get into these things. They've got a book and they've got to do that. So there are certain things you can do that over the years I've experienced, I've used it, I've seen it with so many people, and they've used them. So initially, if you wanted to, you've got a child there, the go-to essential oil is Breathe, which we have one of the blends.
Thank you.
It contains a number of oils.
Can you repeat the name, Mark? Sorry.
The name is Breathe. Breathe, as in breathing.
Right,
breathe. And it's simply a matter of diffusing it around the child. A few drops in a diffuser, or getting them to inhale it, or on a hanky and that sort of thing. These are temporary things. What Rebeccah's doing is she's digging down into the root cause.
Right.
But in the meantime, if you want some initial relief,
you can start off.
You can start that. You can clear the lungs. You can start doing that. So Breathe is really good. Rosemary is excellent, and eucalyptus. Okay, so you go for those three.
Fantastic. So Breathe, rosemary, and eucalyptus. Priyanka, I hope you're here, and I hope you heard that. And yes, they are available for sale, and we will tell you about it in a quick bit.
Okay. So they're the ones you'd want to do, and simply they're about breathing. They're about getting them in the air so that you breathe them. So those molecules do their physical work. So start with that, then go and see something and really dig down, and that's the best combination. Okay.
Right. Perfect. And M is asked, can you tell us about essential oil for self-love and forgiveness? Rebeccah, Mark, I put it to both of you.
Go for it, Rebeccah.
Self-love. Well, we just had one. That oil of bergamot is, I think that is one to go for, because we are looking at self-acceptance. We can begin that process with bergamot.
Okay. Yep. And forgiveness?
And forgiveness is also, this is, there are a number of oils that are available for forgiveness. And I feel that if we make it easy on ourselves, I'm thinking one of the oils I like to go to as a go-to is cedarwood. Cedarwood, goes right to the trauma of whatever there was.
Yep.
And it's a very gentle wood oil that allows you to open up. And so cedarwood is one that comes to mind. And, I like mixing and layering cedarwood and lavender, because lavender is that oil that helps with communication. And this is communication to yourself. Sometimes, we don't always have that space to go out and if it's someone else we want to forgive, first we have to forgive ourselves in that process, and, open the space. And then, it allows you to speak your truth in a kind way that fosters self-respect, self-love, and all of those emotions.
And there it also depends on what the, what is the underlying cause there. So, for instance, if it's a bodily function, if it's something that I hate the way I look, or I dislike my body, or something like that, which leads to that, then one of the most powerful oils for that is grapefruit, which is the oil of honouring the body. So that may be throw in the mix with Rebeccah there. So it's about looking for that, as Rebeccah talks about, the underlying cause. So I think there's some good suggestions there.
Right. And just reiterating what you've just said, cedarwood and lavender for certain reasons, but then the underlying reasons could be very different, which is why, for example, as you just mentioned, Mark, if it's about, I don't like the way I look, then grapefruit is more effective. And that's where your guide is required for you to understand, and not just because, look, go do a search, you'll get a list. You'll get a list of things. They use this for this, use this for this, use that for that. You'll get it. But when it doesn't work, you'll never know why.
That's right.
Yeah, there's an essential oil blend that I also would add to that mix, which is it's one that you have available, which is Meta Power. And Meta Power is addresses the weight loss function that, people don't feel beautiful, the weight of, or the burden of something.
Right.
That is one oil, which is a blend that's excellent.
Nice. I thank you, M, for your question, because self-love, forgiveness, and look at the options that have popped up. It's not just one, it's a whole bunch, depending on what the underlying root cause is. Fantastic. Ranjani is asked, can essential oils help with nerve-related pain such as sciatica?
Oh,
That laugh
absolutely
says yes.
Yes. Primarily, sciatica is about mental digestion and stagnation. And it brings to mind the card I pulled out for all that hard work, and where, it's about acknowledgement. And, the body tightens up because there's no acknowledgement there. So I like that to address it from that point, is that whenever there's a pain like sciatica, think digestion. Where in the digestion am I not able to breathe? Is it not, if you're a spiritual person, have you found the time to connect to your spiritual source? Do your spiritual practice. If it's a mental thing, have you had time to breathe some fresh air, right? So breathe is a good one also. And there are oils like peppermint is the oil of the buoyant heart, and it's about opening, giving you clarity as well, and it helps with pain relief as well. And Mark,
I'm a
would
weak.
you add any?
And I would throw in there that if you want to look at from a physical point of view for relief, the oil to go to, and you really got to lash out with this one because it's one of the top of the trees. It's called helichrysum. It's available in the Indian market, helichrysum. It is the oil that's used in relation to nerves. Okay, so sciatica is often related to that, you know, with the other things. So if you want, again, I'm talking, Rebecca's dealing down. I'm talking about the physical. That's why we make it the team, is we come from both the different angles. Is that so helichrysum applied topically, regularly over the area, around the hip and region and so forth like that. Combine it with peppermint, as Rebeccah said, the peppermint helps drive it in. Peppermint is the smallest molecule structure of any essential oil. It absorbs the fastest, links together and pushes it through. So helichrysum is costs a bit because it's a little blue flower about this big. Comes from northern Italy, in that area up there, and it takes an awful lot of little blue flowers to make an essential oil.
I'm
Oh,
sure.
Okay, that's the one to go for. Yeah, that is the physical side. So peppermint, helichrysum, and all the other ones that Rebeccah mentioned.
So bergamot, peppermint, helichrysum, and there has been questions about, is there a list of what the oils are and what they used for? And of course there is. In fact, we do have an entire list that you will get in the group once the call is over. You will also get it in the call replay, because there are so many products we cannot cover. Practically, it isn't possible to cover all of them on a given call, because you've asked, is there a list? What is lemongrass? Okay, Beverly's asked, lemongrass is her favorite. What are its qualities? After that, we'll take somebody on for a demonstration with Rebeccah. So lemongrass, it's one of my favorites too, Beverly. I love it.
So it's one oil that Mark has mentioned in the past for ligament and pain. But what I use lemongrass for as well is to address the emotional misalignment that comes in with that ligament pain. So there's an emotional misalignment, and it's just a very, very powerful cleanser of energy. So I like using that together with some peppermint to deepen. Hello.
We can hear. I could hear you, Rebeccah. Now you've gone off video.
Okay, so lemongrass it's a powerful cleanser. It's used in cleansing. Its physical side it's great. Begins with L. And one little trick with essential oils, we had more time. One little trick with essential oils is often the letter that it begins with is actually what it stands for. So lemongrass begins with L, so it's good for ligaments. So if you've got stretching, straining, it's really good. But it's a cleansing oil. It's an amazing oil that cleanses. So as Rebeccah was saying, cleanses energetically and also physically, diffusing in the home and so forth like that. Is she back? She can continue now. But so I hope I've answered the question while she wasn't online. Is that enough?
Yes, Beverly says, great, thank you. And another one that resonates. And in fact, Mark, you just mentioned that a lot of oils, like L is ligaments, so lemongrass. So it's basically the ABC of essential oils, which again we will be covering tomorrow.
You'll be covering it. And when the range in India gets bigger, because they've got to introduce them, that will become more clear, because there's several there that you don't have at this stage that'll fill that gap in. It's a nice little alphabetical thing that you can use very easily to do.
Already reference.
One of the key factors that we always talk about, and we've mentioned the nervous system and calmness and everything like that. There is another simple thing for people to remember, is that if an oil is good on your skin, if it's gentle on the skin, it'll be calming to your nervous system. So it'll work externally, it'll work internally. It's a really good point to remember. Anything that's calming externally will work that, and vice versa. If it calms internally, it'll be safe externally.
All right.
A lot of information.
Again,
I'm sorry. There's a lot of information.
yeah, no, there is. Like I said, we've been learning so much, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. And even this very helpful tip that if it's good on your skin, it is going to be calming on your nervous system.
Yeah.
Again, it's this, information like this isn't exactly doing the rounds. You literally have to sit with an expert and get that guidance and that information from them. So, of course, Mark and Rebeccah, deeply, deeply grateful for today's call, happening. And there's still some more to come up. One is that with this work, it's not just about here's the oil, use it. It's about being guided into it, knowing how, why, what to use. So Rebeccah's time that she spends in Mark is a lot, but we'll get to experience a quick short bit, and everybody wants to know about what's the list, what's available. We will bring that up as well. Like I said, lots of them. We'll speak about a few, and you'll have access to all the information. By the way, Lena has written in saying, I've been using brilliant dōTERRA oils for 2 years now, and I love them.
Fantastic.
So we have somebody here who's been using your products the last 2 years, and she loves them.
It's great to hear.
Okay. People,
Brilliant.
I'm opening the floor for anybody who wants to put their video on and come in and experience for a few minutes what a full-blown session with Rebeccah feels like. Like I said, video needs to be on. You will be asked your full name and date of birth. Please do be aware of that. And Devika, I see you put your video on. You want to come on? Yeah, okay, great, fantastic.
Well done.
And yes, Shilpa, we'll have Rebeccah and Devika on together. And just Rebeccah, just give it a moment. We're just gonna put both of you on spotlight. There it is. Okay. All right. Hi, Devika.
Hi, Neelu. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to speak.
But I had to, because I just realized, Rebeccah, you're in a version of pink. Devika, you're in a version of pink. I am wearing pink. This was going to happen. This is, yeah.
I'm glad I wore pink today.
I just realized. Okay.
I didn't get the memo that I should have worn pink. I would have worn pink too, but you didn't send me the memo.
Go ahead.
So I just wanted to check, I've had rheumatoid arthritis since a kid, but now my hip joint has become very bad, and I'm in extreme pain. I also have, a lot of tendency towards sinus and migraines. So would really appreciate if you could advise me on what I could use.
Absolutely, Devika. Thank you so much for offering to be on camera and have this very short session. What is your date of birth, please?
28 February 1968.
Okay. So while I'm getting these details up on the system that I use, what I'd like you to do now is I need your voice message, a voicemail message, and I'd like you to say your name, and I will record it. And what it does is it takes a frequency of your voice, and then I will take a photograph of you. Is that all right?
Sure.
Okay. So you say your name, and then I'd like you to repeat 3 times the vowels A, E, I, O, U. Okay, so I will cue you in, going 3, 2, 1, go.
Hi, my name is Devika. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U.
Thank you. So while I'm just getting the harmonics from that voice. So basically the voice program, I don't know if you can see that. Looks
I
like
can.
that. It's checking your voice, and it will give me some information towards the experiences you've had. And we'll see what it brings up. And I'm going to now take your photo. Right. So now we're analyzing
Sure.
your photo and voice for body, mind, and let's see. Today's stress is to do with your adrenals and your lymphatic. So your lymphatic system is the system without a pump, so which requires movement. And it's based a lot around your armpits, the sides of your neck, and your stomach. So I'm looking at your immune function as well, and your adrenals. So that is what is happening. And I'm going to look at your body systems. Muscular and lymphatic come up. And so I will address those very quickly. And your nervous system, it is addressing. Let me show you your aura first before we do a minute or two of balancing the frequencies and what essential oil would come up for you. So that is your aura now. Can you see it?
Yes.
So the color closest to you is that purpley color, so which is like connection to when you attend the chakra meditation, it's the connection to the divine that is needed in this case. And then outside of that was the orange color, so which is the sacral chakra. So the creativity, the oil of creative expression. So like the wild orange is a very good one to lift you up with that. But let me run a couple of the oils for it and see what oil comes up for you. It's going through a list, a library.
Sure.
And I look at patterns as well that indicate what essential oil is useful for you, amongst other things, but let's see. Okay. 2 oils that come up for you are fennel, essential oil, and ylang ylang. So fennel essential oil is really good for the hormone system as well as digestion.
Okay.
And so in this sense, you mentioned pain in your hip area, right? So which is in the sacral, where around the sacral area. And so fennel would be a good one to begin with, just to look at, certainly, and then ylang ylang to relax the body and basically the cardiovascular system and the nervous system. You are relaxing yourself, connecting then to the, to your spiritual sense. Now, fennel is the oil of responsibility.
Okay.
So can you give us some idea do you have a great sense of responsibility for others?
Yes, I do.
Right. And so do you feel that you have a creative expression that needs to come out?
Yes.
Yeah.
But sometimes I feel very overwhelmed with the kind of responsibility on my head,
Yes.
So, I mean, some of them are my choices. Like I'm a single mom and I've chosen to adopt and, bring up a child. So that's like a huge responsibility. But then I'm also a single child and I have ailing parents. So I have to take care of all their stuff and I manage home and office and work and everything together. So sometimes it becomes overwhelming.
Wow, that is huge. I must say, well done for even taking on that responsibility. But I feel now what your mind and your body and your spirit is saying to you is to take some time. So is there any, perhaps while I'm going to run one of these for a minute to then with the essential oils and then give you that balancing frequency of the essential oils, and then we'll do another quick aura scan, and that will be the session. So just hold on to and we'll just play it for a minute. And it's using ylang ylang, clove, fennel, and wild orange with the adrenal glands. So while this is playing, what I'd like you to do is rub your hands together and place them behind your back if you can reach. So just about the where your navel would be on your back, you would be reaching your adrenals and your kidneys. So breathe in and breathe out to receive this energy. So it tells me that you have just received this, and it says excellent on there. Your body has welcomed these. I don't know if you got that screen share was it clear to see that?
Yeah, now it's better. Yeah,
okay.
Got it.
And now what I'm going to do is take your aura photo again. And we'll see what has changed. What layer have we peeled in the auric field? So we're more than this physical body. Oh, look at that. So
Oh, wow. What a
Yeah.
change. Yes.
Yes. So with the color closest to your body is the one that is of grounding. So bringing yourself back in, the oils we spoke about are so important for you. And, you know, even the oil of coriander that we pulled up for the, and bergamot, and the ones I mentioned would be very good to help you ground, come back into yourself so that you can be the best for your child and your parents and yourself first.
Thank you, Rebeccah. But how do I inhale these, or do I consume them diluted, or do I apply them, or
So,
are these to be used differently?
Very, very good question. So what I would do with these oils, the fennel, what I'd like you to do is probably do a body massage.
One issue, they don't have fennel there.
Mark, okay,
Yes.
can we have Mark on as well? Yes.
Oh, just sorry, Rebeccah, but
No worries.
if you're based in India,
Yes.
don't have fennel. So they don't have fennel. Okay, so she can't use fennel.
Okay.
Okay, however, what you can use is Digescend.
Okay.
So if you want to make a note of that, Digescend, it includes fennel and some of those other oils that Rebeccah. It's also emotional thing is about the individual who's overwhelmed,
Okay.
who's not taking care of themselves, who's neglecting their body,
Okay.
ringing any bells. Okay, so you would use Digescend, as Rebeccah would say. You can take that in a glass of water quite safely, or you can just simply apply topically a couple of drops over your stomach area or those sacral areas where Rebeccah was mentioning. Okay.
Okay.
So, and Rebeccah, if you don't mind, I'll just about you addressing all that, just from a physical point of view for that pain that you have.
Yes.
Okay. So Rebeccah's balanced your auras and you're in good shape now. Unless you use the oils, that will help hold them. That's why Rebeccah's saying they were so important.
Okay.
So for the pain, I would suggest you have a look at something. Okay. So it's a bone issue. It's that pain in the hip and everything like that. So you have some amazing products over there. First of all, there is a blend there called Deep Blue.
Okay.
Okay. So if you look at Deep Blue, it comes in a 5 ml essential oil blend, but it also comes in a tube with a cream that includes the oil blend and things like red capsicum and squalene from plant sources. The main ingredient there is wintergreen. Wintergreen is the oil that you use for bones.
Okay.
Okay. It doesn't begin with B, I'm sorry, Nilu, because we used to have birch that began with B. The wintergreens with W. Anyway, we'll come back to that. So wintergreen, contains wintergreen. So one of the best things I think you could do there is the oil and the cream can, well, let's take the oil, add some lemongrass and peppermint, because peppermint came up for you. Rebeccah had that to peppermint. The peppermint will drive it in. And if you could get in the habit of topically a couple of drops of each of those oils, the Deep Blue, the lemongrass and the peppermint, you may need to put it with a little bit of carrier oil and apply that over your hipping area, around the back area, and do that. If you can get that done 2, 3, 4 times a day, I strongly believe you'll notice a significant difference, a lowering of the level of the pain.
Okay, thank you so much. That's superb. I'll work on that. Would that
Yeah,
also help with my migraine?
Migraine
listen, this therapist will be here till midnight because she'll want to diagnose it all. But look, migraines are a big topic. Rebeccah can talk about that with migraines. But the Deep Blue was supposed to. There's also a blend you guys have over there called Past Tense. It's a roll-on. Rebeccah, do you get any use from Past Tense for migraines?
Yes.
Again, it's a deep topic.
Yes.
It's a deep topic.
Yes. And so, I mean, the thing is that these are great oils to contain the pain.
Exactly.
Yeah. However,
and then you got to deal with the issue what you're doing there.
Yeah. The migraine is many layers, and so yeah, I just think that if we begin with, as like Mark suggested, also just containing it, reducing the pain, you will then open this window to receiving, clarity, brighter, and then you're motivated, because that, I was looking at your emotions as well. So, the emotional disappointment, motivation, interest, those things are low when you are having such weight on your shoulders and weighing you down.
Yeah, and that's where it's been manifested on the shoulders. So use the deep blue. If you've got the migraine around your shoulders, it'll help take some of the tension away. It may help. Okay.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, all of you. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for coming on, Devika. And people, this is but a tiny reflection of the fact that it isn't just about beef or bones, so bergamot maybe. It is so much more detailed than that. There's a lot of work that goes in. Rebeccah actually spends an hour doing this, and then follow-up sessions with you. And of course, Mark with his expertise is also there. There will be more of this tomorrow. All of you have been asking, what's the list, what's available? There is a PDF that we will be sharing with you, but we'll bring a few items up right now. All of these are available on the dōTERRA website. However, because there is this beautiful opportunity that we all have, Mark and Rebeccah have gone out of the way to provide a lovely offer for everybody. And they've also gone out of their way to make sure that this initial set of being able to order your products is as simple a process as possible. So I'm going to share my screen immediately again right now to take you guys through a few of the products. In the meantime, Beverly's asked, Mark, is it possible that some oils can trigger migraine, or would that be prevented through a consult?
Definitely prevented through a consult. And often we have found migraines being triggered by essential oil is often due to oils that are impure, that contain solvents and impurities which react that way. But certainly that's one thing to consider. But however, I'm always a big believer that you need to look at the root causes that Rebeccah does, and a consult for migraines. It's such a wide topic. I have heard many times about essential oils triggering migraines, and generally the response has always been, when you ask what oils they use, but when it's been triggered, it's been something that has been not pure. I hope that answers the question.
Right. So, and the possibility, forget possibility, there is no possibility of that happening with dōTERRA, because dōTERRA is pure with.
And also it's about being aware that we are talking very generally here, that everybody varies in their own individuality. And we can get people who can basically, if I put it this way, could actually bathe in essential oils and get out smelling like roses. If I tried to bathe in essential oils, because I'm very sensitive, and I'm sensitive emotionally, but also sensitive on the skin, I will react to the oils. Doesn't mean to say I can't use them. I use oils, heaps of them all the time. This big routine, it served me so well. But I have to use some carrier and be selective and put them on my feet and so forth like that. So I want to specify that there is a lot of things out there about essential oils. My advice is, when I talked earlier, was smell. Do it slowly, start small. 1 drop, 2 drops. Put it on the bottom of your feet, use a carrier. And as you get used to them, you will find the best ways to use them. So topical, breathing, best ways. I start small, okay?
I would add to that as well, to hydrate. You always need to hydrate when using essential oils.
Right.
Drink water.
Drink plenty of water. Always drink water.
So basically, people, you've got to start enjoying healing with essential oils with Mark and Rebeccah from dōTERRA. These are CPTG certified, pure, tested grade, trademarked essential oils. There are 2 very simple packages that are available for you. One is a personal consultation, And second is your choice of dōTERRA essential oils. And Mark and Rebeccah will take us through this right now. Rebeccah, what's the personal consultation with you all about?
So thank you for this. So the consultation is about, as we have all witnessed with Devika, it includes the aura scan, the biofeedback report, and the guidance. And what I'm going through is seeing what are the layers underneath what is presenting, and seeing what is the consistent pattern that is coming up and that is asking for balance. And through this, I use the device remotely, and as you felt with the transmission with the oils, so can you feel the biofeedback transmission as well, because it's got your photo, your voice message, your date of birth. And, you know, it's a bit like a phone number. You know, once people have your phone number, they can call you. So that is how the biofeedback works. It basically connects to your frequency using those methods. And I, with the number of years of experience and practice with this, with my clients, I see patterns, and I can see where the misalignments are. And so you will have 45 minutes, a full 45-minute session. And what I then do is, can I talk about the bonus sessions?
Yes, absolutely. And in fact, the 45 minutes, Rebeccah, I just want to clarify, the first 45 minutes is not in person, right? You only take the sample voice report and whatever it is that you require from them. That's the kind of time that you spend doing all this work, because it's a lot. We just got to a few minutes with Devika right now, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And what are the 2 bonus follow-up sessions, please?
So basically, I will, just to go back to the personal consultation, I will need a selfie and a voice message sent either on WhatsApp or Messenger or email. That's fine too. And I would like that preferably 30 minutes before the session. If it's the night before, because we're in different time zones, just do the selfie just before you go to bed and send it on to me, so that when I get it, I will begin the session. And there is a Calendly link that you can book the session on. The follow-up session is about getting your feedback and giving you, for me to give you those results, pointing out what the recommendations are, the oils, what the patterns were, and then the remedies you can use for that. And that's 15 minutes. And 2 weeks later, then I will follow up with you again.
Lovely. Fantastic. And there is a very, very special offer that Rebeccah and Mark have for you with this, which is how much, Rebeccah?
That's $111 or 8,111 rupees. I like those 111s.
Yes, they're like angel numbers on the gateway numbers, correct?
Yes,
so
correct.
Fantastic. And this, again, it's a very, very special price, people, that Rebeccah has for us, for our audience. You are not going to get this kind of offer for the kind of work that Rebeccah does anywhere else, even on their website, even on the dōTERRA website. You're not going to find it. So it is a brilliant opportunity to take up, to see and receive and get insights like never before. You'd be surprised to know what shows up. So thank you very much for this, Rebeccah. It's a very, very special offer indeed. And there is, of course, package B, where you get to purchase your choice of dōTERRA oil, essential oils, or even those recommended by Mark and Rebeccah. Take us through a few over here. And of course, this is Mark. This is what you were talking about earlier.
Correct. That's right. That's a brilliant slide where it clearly sets out there aromatic, topical, internal. Now, I've mentioned that. Some of them can be used non-dilution neat. Again, this is a learning thing. And they certainly can be used around the household. There's myriad uses of them. I mean, you know, some of our biggest clients actually use a lot of the oils in their cooking, and there's a lot of commercial products use them because they know of the amazing health. And there's so much more healthy as food additives and flavor additives than all the synthetic stuff we get. So certainly aromatic and topical I've talked about internally, usually in some water or some fluid. Not all of them can do that. So that's something that we need to do some more education on, but a lot of them are internally used. A lot of people shy away from that, but if you know the ones to use and do it properly, there is absolutely no problem. They have amazing benefits. If you're not diluting it, stick it on the soles of your feet. But as I said, everybody's sensitivity varies. So use a carrier initially, and as you get used to it, you'll soon find out what you can and can't do.
Right.
Go slowly.
The website and the two of you are there for support and, like you said,
absolutely,
constant education on it. So no one's left high and dry. Okay, so single essential oils are right, because throughout the call today, I've been here, okay, there's a blend of this. So take us through a few of the single essential oils.
Okay, well, lavender, we have a term for lavender. It's called the Swiss Army knife of essential oils. And people know what the Swiss Army knife is. It's this knife that has every contraption known to man. It can do anything. Well, that's what lavender can do. We generally regard lavender as being the multi-purpose oil that can do anything. If in doubt, reach for lavender. So again, the skin irritation, calming the mind. So there it is. So it'll calm the nervous system. It'll calm the skin. Okay, flavor twist and baked foods, great for sunburn when topically applied, and emotionally, it is fantastic over the throat chakra because it's about the oil of communication. So drop on your hand over the throat chakra. Look, if you've got a difficult conversation to have, if you've got a difficult presentation to make, try putting a couple of drops of lavender over your throat chakra half an hour or so before you do your presentation or have that difficult conversation and see what happens.
Fantastic. And I like the connection with the chakras as well. This is a 15 ml essential oil and normally costs how much on the website?
US 37 and normally rupees just under 3,000, 2,990. So we're giving you, so you can go on the website on the link that these guys are going to provide, and there is a very nice discount. And look, lavender is the oil that everybody should have.
Absolutely.
And great way to start. It's one of the best. Look, people think lavender, lavender, get anywhere. Really good lavender. As I said, Swiss Army knife of oils. It's one of the best starting ones. You can do lots of things with it.
And I've also been able to use this oil. It truly is. I think what I've really loved about the dōTERRA oils is the strength and the purity of it all that so clearly stands out, and that offer people at only $28 or 2,364 rupees 72 paise. Don't worry about that. We have an entire link set up ready for you. As I mentioned, Mark and Rebeccah have gone out of their way. The team has worked on making this order process very simple and very easy for us. And that, my maths is not all that great. I think it's a 25%.
Yeah, we're looking, that's correct. We're trying to give everybody across the board 25%. Oh,
25%. And every oil comes with its own price point. So we're sharing a few more with you right now. Peppermint, what's going on
well,
here?
peppermint and lavender, I mean, they're the two number one and number two sort of oils to go there. And we've already talked a bit about peppermint, with respiratory issues and fever, digestion, pick me up. It's emotionally the oil of the buoyant heart. Hold it over the heart to really start when you're down, when things are overwhelming you, when you feel the weight of the world on you. It has some fantastic athletic abilities. There's studies out there that suggest that inhaling peppermint oil can help endurance by between 7 to 15%. It's a vasodilator, means it expands the vein, the arteries, allows more oxygen to flow through. So peppermint and lavender, you can do so many things just with those two.
Fantastic.
And again, that's the normal prices. We've worked with these guys. Look, Mystic Lotus have done an amazing job. This hasn't been an easy process because we are a worldwide company and we have a direct selling model. And what we've looked at doing is trying to find ways to just get people in as customers. There's no other bells or whistles or anything like that. We want people to use the oil. It's been a phenomenal collaboration to date, and these guys have done amazing things to pull all this stuff together for us. So we really hope that to give you every opportunity to get out there and actually, to get hold of these oils and use them. And there is plenty of information on the website. There's links. There's even links where you can get phone calls back, and we're available. Part of our role, and we've been doing this Rebeccah and I have been doing this for a very long time, is that we support our team. We support everybody who's involved in it.
It's really important. Yes,
yeah,
very important to
support the responsibility and the importance of it. So we believe in education. So I hope that's come through. So yes, we're running late. So that's peppermint. So that's lavender and peppermint. Okay.
And just very quickly reminding everybody that the amounts that you're saying includes shipping in India. For locations outside India, it'll be extra as per the geographical location, and the team is at hand.
Generally the shipping is very reasonable. They generally charge us in most countries outside India, just a fairly nominal flat rate.
Right.
Like for instance, in Australia, it's sort of like $6.95 basically anywhere in the country, and so forth like that. So it's just a norm. So just look in your own region, and it's not hidden. It's there for you all to see. Okay. So wild orange, and look, Rebecca's raved about that. So is Nilu. I remember the first time we got on the call with her, and she was talking about eucalyptus, and I asked her what she really wanted, and she said she wanted this, and I said, do the wild orange.
Right.
And Neela, when you came on today, you looked amazing.
And thank you.
Oh, amazing.
This is all
Thinking, is that Neela? That wasn't the lady I saw 3 days ago, I'm sure.
No, 3 days ago, I was looking like I'm going to fall off the bed.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. So, we've talked a lot about, and that's a lot to do with Rebecca's amazing work that she did.
Right.
So, support healthy inflammation response. What that simply means is that it lowers inflammation in the body. It's about that healthy response. And inflammation, we need an inflammatory response when we're ill. The problem is when we're stressed, the body goes into this inflammatory mode when it shouldn't, and that is extremely bad for the body. So wild orange actually helps make sure that inflammatory mode is kept under control. So we're more balanced, as we were talking about balance. So the inhaling, the energizing, just the uplifting mood. It's the oil for this time in the world, I tell you. And it is being a citrus oil, it is very keenly priced. And it's something that I think everybody should have in a kit at home. So wild orange.
And the pricing, we're just going to keep...
The pricing, that's the original pricing. As you can see, that's not a lot. I think it's very reasonable. So when we go to the discounted prices, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Look at that. Right. So that's wild orange.
Just $12 or $1,096. Again, there's so many
Yeah, and just to note that the prices are there for a reason, very quickly. It all comes down to yield.
Right.
Okay, it all comes down to yield. How much oil comes out by any volume from out of profit? So I'll give you an example that will come for dōTERRA does have a jasmine in the range, but they haven't got it to India yet, which is crazy because that's where we get it from. But it's all part of the process. And you need something like several tons of jasmine petals to make about a litre of essential oils. So the yield is so low, the cost is high, and that's how it's reflected. Citrus oils, because citrus fruits are abundant everywhere, and they get a high yield when they squeeze it out of the rind, they're usually less expensive. So I really like to mention that when people say, why is this and why is that? It's all to do with how much per volume oil you can get from any given amount of material. I hope I've explained that clearly.
No, absolutely. And thank you actually, Mark, for clearing that up and explaining it, because you're right. People do ask, why is this only 1,000 rupees? Why is that 10,000 rupees? And this is the reason why.
That's why with the yield. You can imagine, like I talk about helichrysum, we talked about that. It's a 5 ml bottle, not even 15. But it's a little blue flower that grows up in the highland areas in the north of Italy and Austria and those places. That has to be difficult to harvest. The yield is so low, incredibly powerful. I mean, we could talk about helichrysum all night. But anyhow, so here's lemongrass, sourced in India from the south. It supports healthy digestion. It's the oil of cleansing. Rebeccah went through that. It provides a refreshing sensation on the skin. You can add helichrysum to a lot of your personal care products and use that. Shampoos and so forth like that. So it is definitely one of the go-to ones to keep there. Certainly the oil of cleansing to clean negative energies. If you're inundated with those sort of entities and things like that, start diffusing some lemongrass or wear it around you and you'll notice a difference.
Right. In fact, I think somebody had asked which can be used for skincare products. So that's lemongrass, eucalyptus. Lemongrass
can be. Lavender obviously is one of the better ones to use because of its gentleness on the skin. So, but you can make a very nice aroma out of a lemongrass and a lavender. And one day I hope I get the opportunity through you guys to actually do some blending talks on what oils blend well together. So we've actually got a whole course written on that. So we'd love to talk about that. So again, lemongrass is very easy to obtain, high yield. So there's the normal pricing there. So there's a nice reduction, $14 US or just over 1,000 rupees. It's a brilliant oil to have. I'll also mention that the usage, how long does a bottle last? That is obviously a good question. When you're middle class, like Nilu says that I use one drop every three days. It'll last forever. Come on. Really
specifically with the wild orange, because I love it so much, and I can and look at this beautiful pricing that it's coming with. I think I'm just going to order like a bunch of it and start gifting.
Order a bunch of them, yeah, of course you will. So just I think it's a good question because I get asked that question a lot because look, there is an outlay, and these are therapeutic oils, so we have to treat them accordingly with respect. I very much believe in that. We've talked so it depends on generally because I don't want to get too technical, but the molecule, the actual, if you hold up an essential oil that drops out, some come out quick, some come out slow, some come out long drops, some come out short drops. It's all about the viscosity of the oil, which means how thick or thin it is. Okay, but generally you get about 280 drops in a 15 ml bottle. That's 280 drops. So you imagine if you're using 5 to 6 drops every time, you divide that into 280, it'll give you how many serves you're going to get out of it. Okay? I hope that's a good guideline. Tea tree is brilliant from Australia. Indigenous people in Australia have used that for funguses, for skin conditions. That's its two biggest issues. But it is also fantastic for respiratory. It contains a particular chemical very akin to what's called 1,8-cineal. You will find 1,8-cineal in pretty much every over-the-counter cold or flu remedy. Again, remember what I said right at the beginning. Essential oils were the start of medicines. So it's 1,8-cineal is a naturally occurring. Cardamom, which you have in India, is very high in 1,8-cineal. Okay, you don't have that yet, but use cardamom in India. Okay, so it's renowned. So that's tea tree. It's a fantastic product.
Can I add something to that? Tea tree is amazing for creating energetic boundaries.
Yeah.
It's like creating the boundary that that then exists in your auric space. So yeah.
So healthy boundaries, right,
Healthy,
Rebeccah?
right. Yeah.
Healthy boundaries is what you mean?
Yes. And I would put a drop when there's stagnation, I would put a drop on the crown chakra to open it up, clear the bound, increase and create the energetic boundary.
Got it. Right. And again, on offer at 25% saving, at just $25 or 2,170.
70, yep.
Fees. And I'm thinking we should have actually started the call with this, because we're getting to know about all the.
Yeah, we could have just done this, couldn't we? I could be eating dinner now, and I could have finished.
Right. So we'll just take us through eucalyptus, Mark, and then we'll do a few.
Eucalyptus. Now, that's your favorite oil, isn't it? One of your favorite oils?
Yes, it is. So
eucalyptus is the oil of healing.
Right.
Okay,
I use it every day. Eucalyptus. It's one of my favorites.
Now, cleansing and purifying properties. So it's got a chemical in there called eucalyptol, obviously. Australian eucalyptus, where this is sourced, has the highest levels of their trees there, have the highest levels of eucalyptus of any in the world. So we farm it in Australia, and it's bottled and it's sent around the world. Helps to clear the mind, promotes clear breathing. So look, where eucalyptus really is big time now is for any respiratory issues. It's about inhaling it. It's fantastic for respiratory issues. It's the number one to go to, one of the number ones to go to, okay?
And I want to speak to this oil for you, Nilu, because this is when, we addressed what you were experiencing. And this is an oil for someone who is having that constant, healing necessity. And so it helps that emotional body as well, clears the mental space.
Right. So, and it had showed up with the oils that I had responded to as well. So yes. Yeah. And again,
so $21 and 17.80, 62 for 15 mil. It's a thin oil. You get a lot of drops in there. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. And people, because as I said, there's so many products, we do have a PDF ready for you with all the price points and the price links as well. All you have to do is click on it and order. And yes, the Lang Lang has come up a few times in conversation today. So
well, it has, because it is a phenomenal oil. Now, it certainly contains antioxidants that support, a healthy system. It is good for skin and mind, and it can be used in personal care products as well, as it says there. Promotes a calming and positive atmosphere. I think that really and I know Rebecca's probably will have some comments on Lang Lang, but for cardiovascular, lowering blood pressure, circulation, it's the number one. I use it every day. It also helps to it also helps to alarm going off in our place. Sorry. It also helps to promote and calm hormone. It's a hormonal balancer as well.
Right. I think Rebeccah had it came up for Devika as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where looking at, it's interesting, you look at that deep blue that I suggested to use. This Lang Lang's actually in deep blue as well. Okay.
And it's interestingly, it's the reason Lang Lang is coming up for a lot of people is where in today's modern day, where the mind is preferred over the heart is now saying, my turn. It is my turn. So it's the oil that will create access to that inner child, that inner guidance.
Yeah, so it's known as the oil of the inner child. And I'll just add one quick thing to that, it's also very good for balancing male hormones, male energy. It's really good. So can I share a story very, very quickly? We've got time. I'll be very quick. Okay. Well, in horse training. Okay. So horse training, where trainers train horses to race. Okay.
Right.
When the male horse, the stallion, okay, is frisky and the mares are on heat, what trainers have done forever is get the stallion, the male horse, to smell lang-a-lang. And it calms it down.
Interesting.
It balances male energy, balances male hormones as well. Because males got hormones. We've got hormones too. Okay, so while it's effective, very effective for females, it's also a balancing thing. And that's what Rebeccah mentioned previously. We really want balance. So lang-lang comes from Madagascar, US 44 now, 3733, 15 mil, beautiful oil. You can use it in so many blends in so many ways. It's come up a lot as we talked about. Oh, frankincense, the king of oils. The king of oils.
Yes, beautiful.
Oh, I think we should have started with this, Nilu, or something. We could be here till midnight at this rate.
Okay, so fine, okay. You know what? I get what you're saying completely.
It's fine. It's absolutely fine. I can talk forever. I don't care.
Yeah,
frankincense,
I mean, the oils are what drives our motivations. Because they've helped us so much.
Yeah, they have. They've life-changing experiences for both of us and for so many other people that we have been involved with. So, I mean, that really doesn't.
Frankincense is the oil of truth.
Yeah, that really doesn't even start the thing. But yes, the third eye chakra, the oil of truth applied there will allow you to see what your true purpose is, what you really should be doing, what's going on in the world, and so forth. So very, very apt at this time when there's so much
absolutely discerning oil.
It's great for skin, for wound healing and things like that. It's amazing for nerve connections. So clears brain fog. One of the most important things, if you're feeling fuzzy in the head, you get, what have I got a presentation? Clears brain fog. It's amazing for that. Look, emotionally, it's got some amazing chemical profiles of some particular categories of a set of chemicals. Two of those categories are sesquiterpenes and monoterpenes, and I do not want to go on a chemistry lesson, but basically, frankincense has been used for centuries to help change ideas and implant better ones. You want to transform, you want to make different decisions, then you use frankincense. The sesquiterpene chemicals allow for the transition, allow for the removal. The monoterpenes lock in the new emotion. Okay. Now, frankincense has been used in many religious areas of religion for centuries, where they actually diffuse the resin, and you see them waving that around through the congregation and the people there. And they're doing that because they know that frankincense implants new ideas. That's why you go to church. You go there to be told to be a better person and so forth. I'm trying to paraphrase here. It's a phenomenal oil. It's one of the, our kit is lavender, frankincense, peppermint, lemon. There's 5 or so of them. So yes, and it is difficult to get. It only comes from a few countries. It grows all over the place, but it only actually produces. There is actually a very, very interesting species of frankincense in India called Boswellia cereata. It has certain different properties from this one. This is Boswellia carteri, Boswellia, a couple of other different species. So yeah, look, I don't want to go into that too much, and because it's difficulty to obtain, it comes from desert countries that aren't very welcoming to businesses and everything. So it costs a bit. So we move on to the price, I suppose. I've talked too long. Sorry.
Not at all. And I also, across the oils, I've been noticing heart chakra, throat chakra.
Well, they're going to get the full chakra tomorrow if they come. It's going to get the whole thing. It's going to be amazing. So there's the prices. This is a good one to get because it's reduced. So $78 US, 6766 for rupees, 15 mil. It's a thin oil, so you usually get the full 280 to 290 drops. So, and you don't need much because it's powerful stuff.
Right.
With flowers. Okay.
And
Moving on.
we'll cover the last single oil for today, which is bergamot. Again,
Rebecca, why don't you talk about bergamot? Because you've been banging on about it all day.
Yeah, this is again the oil of self-acceptance. And this is where initially the card that came in for this group was bergamot. And it's about accepting yourself, putting the value back into listening to your heart, listening to your body's needs. Your mind has to take a back seat and allow your true emotional expression to come forward, and your heart to radiate out. So it is an oil that of just expressing yourself in a powerful and kind way.
Good.
and again, it's just like
Yeah, $40 US, 3538 rupees. So again, really nice discount there.
yes,
Citrus oil.
25% across the board, across all of these. And I just very quickly want to tell everybody that we've taken you through the single essential oils, and tomorrow we will take you through the proprietary essential oil blends as well. These have been very specifically made. We'll give you full details tomorrow. You will have them today with your PDF, but you must know about at least one or two so that you're not left wondering, okay, what was that all about? On Guard came up during the call today, I think, as well.
Not surprising, because On Guard is probably one of the biggest, most popular sellers of essential oils worldwide, because it's basically your protective blend. So at a time where bugs, flus, colds, any infections or anything like that, it's a combination of 5 single oils. They're all highly antiviral, highly antioxidant, highly antibacterial. It's the go-to oil for any issues around immunity, respiratory issues, anything like that. Great as cleaning surfaces. It's got an amazing uplifting aroma, and it's supportive of the body's natural antioxidant protection. So it's called the protective blend. So it's your go-to one. It's one you should always have in your cupboard to pull out when any of those bugs or any of those things come around.
I'll also add in there that On Guard is much loved by teenagers, would you believe? When they are feeling out of sorts with themselves because they have this pressure from their peer groups, and then they have the pressure at home. And On Guard is a way of bringing their true self back into alignment, and they feel like there's a protective nature about it. It's like an internal, sword of protection, sword of truth. So it's very helpful for strengthening that inner self, which vulnerable people at a vulnerable age feel like the influences from their external environments.
So there you go. Nice discount, the 25%, 38, 3,444 rupees. So yes, the go-to one. We'll talk more about On Guard tomorrow.
Very nice. In fact, I think what these blends are is where you guys have used the various essential oils and put them together into one place for people, right? So that they don't have to stress about, can I mix this with that or not? And
yeah, to some degree, that's true. The most interesting thing about it is, very quickly, is that there's what we found scientifically is a synergistic effect. So if you use 4 single oils and applied them over your skin like that, neat, but then you apply them in a blend together, and put that on, there's a synergistic effect where the oil is more powerful once it's blended in the correct way in the correct order with the correct ratios.
Right. No, that's what I mean, Mark, that you've taken care of that.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
also with these blends.
Correct. Yeah, correct. 100%.
Yes.
So there it is. Balance is, we talked about balance, and Rebecca did that, the root chakra. So it's the grounding one, the relaxing one, calms the atmosphere, but it's a big grounding one. It's the grounding blend. It's the biggest back into ourselves and really, really ground us in what we're doing. And fantastic over the root chakra. And there we go. Very good price, that one. $24 US rupees, 2,170. One of the ones. Fantastic if for children leaving, if they've got pressure in schools or their separation from parents, like they've got to go somewhere they're used to being at home. Really
it's also
helps
an excellent oil for pets, for people who have pets that need calming.
Right. Nice. Interesting. In fact, we didn't even hit the topic of pets today. We'll bring it up tomorrow for sure. And there we have balance. And after that, there's a beautiful blend of citrus bliss. What is this?
Oh my gosh.
Well, this is a blend of citrus oils. So we've taken all the citrus oils and some really interesting ones, and we've put them all together with some vanilla, because vanilla is very, very calming.
Yes.
And smooth, and it takes some of the edge off. So it's the invigorating blend, because it's interesting where when the synergies of the calming with the vanilla comes with the citrus, it produces an invigorating blend. It's all in the chemistry. So it's just a way of putting a really nice blend of citrus oils together. Again, like you were saying, Neil, which solves the problem of doing anything else. There it is, a nice blend, and it's invigorating, fresh, uplifting, beautifully fresh, positive, invigorating atmosphere.
It's an oil of creativity. So, it motivates you to actually listen to that inner
so
self.
Solar plexus chakra, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's where we put it over there. So, we've taken all the guesswork out of it. So there we go. Normally, and again, because it's citrus oils, this phenomenal blend of lots of oils. It's got about 7 or 8 oils in it. 23 US, 1875 rupees. So yeah, it's for that invigoration, uplifting. Way to go.
Right, and they're all very nicely priced, I might add. And then there's we have 2-3 more blends. We'll just take you through it quickly. There's Serenity. So what?
Yeah, Serenity says what it is. It's your restful blend. It's your calming, sleeping, relaxing, tranquil atmosphere. Helps you unwind. And it helps. Look, it's a great thing to bathe. If you've got a bath, use Epsom salts, and that helps disperse the oil better through the water. Doesn't sit on the top. So having a bath with 4 or 5 drops of Serenity with some Epsom salts is really very luxurious. And so many quality oils in there. So 40 US, 3414.92. If you,
And these are also at 25% savings, right, Mark? All the blends, right?
Correct. Purify.
Yes.
Yes. So cleansing blend. It's got a beautiful aroma, and we talk about environmental threats. That's any sort of odor, any sort of pollution, anything that you come in contact with that you want to rid that of. That's what you do with Purify. To bring it to diffuse, to inhale, to have it in the room around you and everything like that. It's also good if you want to, put it on a rag and clean some countertops, because it's got the antibacterial viral, some oils in there as well. So it's a cleansing blend. It's one of those cleansing blends. And I think you'll be very, very surprised when you see the pricing of this, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I think it is, yes. Look at that. For 15 mil with that sort of oils that provide the amazing aroma and cleanse and rid the air and really uplift and get rid of all those environmental threats. That's an amazing price.
And also releasing any toxic emotions. Very good for that.
Nice. And the most beautiful part that even though you're using it to clean a countertop, it's not chemical.
That's right. It's all natural and it leaves that amazing aroma. That's
Correct.
Right. Okay,
Yeah.
Rebeccah, that's your one. You bought this one, so go for it.
Oh, this is immortal. I have to share a little story that this is an oil that I used for my husband when a few years ago, he had a stroke, and it was amazing for helping him realign his nervous system, his nerves, and it has multiple uses. And basically, he's fine now, my husband, just to give you some assurance with that. And it is used to open up the divine, open to the divine, and connect your crown chakra to receive the information that is important for you to realign and reconnect back to the physical temple of your body. And look at that. That is an amazing price of $80 US or 6,866 rupees.
And the reason why it is fairly up there is because if you know the list of oils that's included, so there is sandalwood, frankincense, lavender, myrrh, which is on a par with frankincense. It's a resin. It's one of the biblical oils. It's one of the spiritual oils. Helichrysum, which I've already mentioned, from the little flower, which is thing. And the last but not least, there's rose essential oil in it.
There's rose.
All of those oils are difficult to either locate in regions around the world, or their yield is extremely low. So that's why it's so powerful and so effective.
Right. And people, you've very patiently sat through this. Mark and Rebeccah, you've very patiently taken us through this. There you have it, your single essential oils and your proprietary essential oil blends. You will have them fully in a PDF format with the direct payment links active. So all you have to do is click on it. And tomorrow, there is a very special all 7 chakra balancing meditation and work that we will be doing using all the oils that are specific to those chakras in its energetic transmission. For now, for today, we've taken a lot of time, and you must understand, people, that's how vast essential oils is. It's how do you put all that information into 60 minutes? You've seen today, it's not. Just talking about 10 oils can take up so much time. Can you imagine getting information on 30, 40 of them? And for that, the dōTERRA website is there. We have our products here, and it's been an insightful call, Mark and Rebeccah, between talking about essential oils and then remember this, remember that, little bits and pieces of information that is important for us to know has also just kept floating in, and still it feels as if the call's not complete. And I really wish we could have just gone on and on, but it is very late at night for you as well over there right now. And we are seeing you again tomorrow with more. I wanted to say thank you to you guys. I wanted to say thank you to everybody who has been here patiently from the beginning, listening to everything. So before we go and say bye for right now, Rebeccah, Mark, is there anything that you'd like to sign off with for today?
We just want to thank you guys for having us and for all the amazing work you've done. This has been a fair while in the making. And the original way I viewed it, I was thinking about it today, it wasn't anything like what I thought it would be. very, very grateful to be able to speak to you. And I really hope that we've made a difference, and I really hope that people will come on tomorrow and learn more. And the chakra balance will be amazing. And we hope that this is the start of something that we will continue to do. So thank you, Neelu, and your team, and everybody who's hung in there. It is very greatly appreciated, and I hope we have, in some small way, made a difference and been able to impart what knowledge we have, and been able to show our passion. And these have had profound effects on us, our families, our friends, and tens of thousands of people around the world that we've been in contact with, where we really feel we've made something. As Rebeccah said, it's our motivation. We keep doing it because we love doing it, and we see the amazing benefits. So thanks, Neelu. You're an awesome moderator. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yes, I want to say thank you to you, Neelu, and the team for help, really putting this amazing presentation together. It is just a toe dip into, what is a complex information. But what really drives me in all of this is to get across to as many people as possible that the gift of the earth, the farmers, are there around the world doing their hard work and producing these amazing oils. I feel that this is a way that I can share through my experience and knowledge with all of you. And again, thank you so much, everyone, for, as Mark said, hanging in there with us. And I really look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the chakra meditation. Thank you.
We are back tomorrow, 1:30. Sorry, Mark, were you saying something?
No, I was just saying thank you.
Thank you. And just reminding everybody, it is same time tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Come, there's going to be a lot more for you to experience. Today, for the first time, I'm at a loss as to how to summarize the call, because there was so much information, so many tidbits of knowledge, that for now, I'm just going to say oil of integrity, oil of self-acceptance, and oil of abundance we've been gifted with today. And may that continue into tomorrow. We shall see you tomorrow. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Rebeccah. What a call. I wish it could have gone on for longer. Unfortunately, we have to move on to the next day with that. But yes, God willing, we will have a call where it's going to be no holds barred, and it's just going to be, just let it all out and give every bit of information that is possible to give there. You guys are so experienced with your work that I cannot even say about, how do I even say, hey, congratulations on your debut call on the Mystic Lotus and Dragonfly.
I would say what a wonderful connection to amazing people all across in another continent. It is just, it's the homeland of my parents, and where, I was taken to many times as a child. And those memories are very strong. And so I feel that this is such a gift for me to be part of this presentation.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. And on that note, depending on wherever you are, whichever part of the world you're in, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Have a good meal, rest well. If you already have dōTERRA oils, please
use them.
And we shall see you tomorrow, 1:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. Till then, happy weekend ahead.
Thank you. Bye.
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 So we're meeting
tomorrow, 1:30, and with the call is just closing.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.